This video is made possible by the DJ Tech Tools store, our online shop for DJs and producers looking to find the perfect gear for their studios. Our store carries a highly curated selection of DJ gear and production tools that we stand behind. And if you need any advice on making a good investment, we have a legendary staff of real DJs and producers ready to chat. Visit djttstore.com today or click the link in the video description.
Hey everybody, this is Ean Golden back with my first video in the series that I promised every week for the next 3 months. First, I just want to acknowledge what a beautiful response I got to the video where I talked about how I'm coming back. And I just loved reading all these comments. It really made me feel amazing. So thank you. So for this week, we are going to go to the basics, but we're going to do the basics in an advanced way. So this is applicable to everyone, if you've just started DJing or if you've been DJing for a long time. And we're going to begin with a simple delay. About how you can use the simple delay to create really interesting effects that sound amazing and don't disrupt the flow of the dance floor, which so often happens when people just slap big effects onto the full track. But in order to do that, we first need to understand how a delay works. So that's part one, fundamentals. What's in a delay? Most delays have essentially 4 key components, and this is in any DJ software and any production software that allows you to break out the delay and control the parameters of that delay. Some only allow you to turn on or off a delay using something called the wet-dry, and that's the first most basic. Here on the twister, I've got this button here mapped to turn the delay off and on. And then I've got the knob mapped to control the wet dry. So here we have 100% dry signal, or only the track. Here we have 100% wet signal, or only the delay. No delay, full delay. And usually this is what most people use, and it's what you hear in a club, is someone pulling up a very basic delay pattern, turning it up, and then turning it off. And for all intents and purposes, that's pretty effective if all you want to do is add a little bit of spice to your song. The problem with delays, though, is if you put them across the entire frequency spectrum, so everything's being delayed or repeated, including the kicks and the hi-hats, and it's at faster or even slower tempos. It sounds something like this. You can really hear that even the kick is getting repeated. So the first most important parameter that we need to understand in a delay to avoid that is this guy here, the filter. And the filter says, hey, what parts of this song are going to go into the delay? Should it be only the high frequencies? Or should it be only the low frequencies? There you hear it's the kicks, and here you hear it's more just the highs. And that in and of itself is going to start making your delays sound a lot better, because in this case, the important part of the song, the low end, continues to roll, and I add a little bit of flavor or spice or change up the rhythm just on the top end, which is going to be less distracting to the dancers and less destructive to what is otherwise a pretty awesome song already. The next most important and probably most fundamental part of a delay is its length. And a delay is essentially just repeating a note at a specific length. To hear that, let's just listen to one note. And here we have our length, very long or very short. Here's very short, and here's very long. And somewhere in between. Now you can hear in this delay that there's a fairly long decay, that we continue to hear this repeat going and going and going off into the distance. It's decaying over time, but it's still there. And that is a function of the fourth and pretty important component of any delay, which is feedback. This word comes from older delays where they would actually feed the signal back in on themselves, creating a feedback loop, which says, hey, how long or how much of this delay is going to feed back into itself? So let's listen to that. Here's a short feedback, and here's a long feedback. And somewhere in the middle. Generally, if you're gonna have a delay parameter that you just sort of set and forget, like the Honda Civic of delay settings, it'd probably be about 50% feedback, probably about 60% filter, so you're cutting out most of the lows, and a 3/16 delay. And then you'd just be messing with the wet dry. But frankly, that's not very interesting. So in part 2, let's get fun and make it a little more spicy. To really express a delay and use it creatively, we want to use a lot of feedback, manipulate all these values, and let them kind of sing and play a little bit. And that's not very well suited for doing to the main track that's playing. So the best trick that I use all the time, and a lot of pro DJs use, is that they'll put these delays on other elements that are on top of the mix. So not your primary track, but your secondary track, or very often loops running in the background. Here I've got a track that I play a lot in my sets. It's an instrumental. It has no beats, which makes it really, really good for putting stuff on top. And this is commonly what I will do on a set, is use this along with another track with some beats, and then maybe some loops that I can put effects on. Here in a remix set, I've got a very simple loop. It's a backbeat hi-hat. Very clean, very dry. What I like to do is change up the hi-hat and create some rhythm by adding a delay. Back to dry. And what I love about this is that it's super clean and it's not in your face, but you can really hear it. And it's allowing me to play in my set musically, which keeps me interested and engaged and excited. This is a really common trick in productions, but you can use it in your DJ sets for very powerful results. Delay is amazing. and reverb is almost even better. So next week, we're gonna go into the same process and talk about the fundamentals of what a reverb is, how all the different parameters work, and how you can use it for extra special results. Don't forget, if you love this video and if you love DJ Tech Tools, please support us in our online store. We've got thousands of amazing hand-curated products and a team of professional DJs there to help you pick out the right gear. And by buying the gear that you buy in our store rather than from third-party mega commercial outlets, you're supporting not only DJ Tech Tools, but DJ culture, because every single one of those dollars goes right back into making videos like this and helps keep our lights on. Thank you for your support, and I'll see you next week with the essentials of reverb.